Hey there folks, today we're diving into the fascinating world of carbohydrate consumption and how pairing them with certain elements can significantly improve their glycemic impact. So, stick around because we're about to break it all down for you. Now, we're all familiar with the idea that carbohydrates can send our blood sugar levels soaring, right? That's where insulin comes into play, as it helps our body store all those extra calories, often as unwanted body fat. So, if you're aiming to shed a few pounds, minimizing these effects is key, and that's precisely why many folks opt for low-carb diets. But there's more to the story than just carb count. So, let's talk about the factors that influence how carbohydrates affect your blood sugar, known as the glycemic index. This index helps us understand how different types of carbohydrates can impact our blood glucose levels. The first factor is the total number of carbohydrates you consume, which varies greatly among individuals. The second important factor is net carbs. This is where you take the total carbs and subtract the fiber content, as fiber isn't absorbed by the body. So, if you consume 100 grams of carbs but 50 of those grams are from fiber, you won't experience the full impact of those 100 grams. The third factor is food order. We touched on this in a previous video. Eating carbs last can significantly affect how high your blood glucose and insulin levels spike. The difference between eating carbs first or last can be quite dramatic. Now, the fourth factor, which we'll explore today, is the companion foods you consume alongside your carbs. In Japan, where rice is a dietary staple, studies have shown that combining rice with certain elements can blunt the effect on blood glucose levels. They've discovered that adding vinegar to rice can drastically reduce its glycemic index. For example, sushi rice drops from an average index of 100 for white rice to just 59 with the addition of vinegar. Another observation they've made is that pickled foods, like pickled vegetables, can also reduce the glycemic index of white rice down to about 75. Other studies have noted that consuming rice with milk can lead to higher glycemic spikes, possibly due to the insulin-stimulating effects of whey protein. Bean products, commonly consumed in Japan, including soybeans and natto, have also been found to blunt the effect of blood glucose when combined with rice. And here's an interesting twist. Adding lemon juice to carbohydrates can significantly reduce their glycemic index by up to 40 to 50 points. This is remarkable because it's the same total carb content with the same carb type. So, how does the addition of acid, like lemon juice, make such a significant difference? It all comes down to how our bodies digest starch. Our saliva contains an enzyme called salivary alpha amylase, which begins breaking down starch as soon as we start eating. This enzyme remains active even in the stomach until the pH drops to about 3 or 4, at which point it becomes inactive. The pancreatic enzyme takes over from there. Surprisingly, research has shown that up to 60 to 80% of starch digestion can happen before the stomach discharges into the pancreas. In a study titled Acid-Induced Reduction of the Glycemic Response to Starch-Rich Foods, scientists tested the effects of lemon juice on bread and pasta outside the body, in vitro. They found that adding lemon juice blocked the action of salivary alpha amylase, resulting in significantly less starch digestion. This in turn led to a slower rise in blood glucose levels. Similarly, another study explored the effects of vinegar on bread and found that the more vinegar added, the lower the blood glucose and insulin responses. Plus, it increased feelings of satiety. So, not only does vinegar inhibit carb digestion, but it also makes you feel fuller, creating a double benefit. The bottom line is that you shouldn't consume naked carbs, meaning carbs all by themselves. This can expose you to maximum glucose and insulin responses. Instead, consider adding a touch of acid to inhibit carbohydrate digestion. You can use fermented foods with lactic acid, vinegar with acetic acid, or lemon juice with citric acid. These can significantly lower the glycemic impact of your meals. Keep in mind that carbohydrates play a crucial role in our physiological response, but the total amount, net carbs, food order, and the companions you choose, can significantly influence their effects. So, think twice before indulging in those naked carbs. Thanks for joining us today. If you found this information helpful, Be sure to share it with your friends, they might learn something new too. Until next time, happy and healthy eating.